I'm Dr. Freda Bush, a practicing obstetrician gynecologist in Jackson, Mississippi. I've delivered over 10,000 babies. Can we kick it?
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Kick it.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can.
I'd like to tell the young people how I got into medicine and how I've been able to practice as long as I have. And I believe it stemmed from the principles that I learned from my mother and father. I was born in 1947, and I am the fifth of 9 children. And you can imagine 19 whatever, those times were hard. And so we were taught that our way up was through education. So in my house, it wasn't a matter of whether you were going to school, it was which school were you going to and what was going to be your education. Since about age 6, I wanted to be a nurse. And so when I graduated from high school at age 16 in 1963, I wanted to become a nurse. But there were no schools that would accept an African American at that time for a bachelor's degree except the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. And so that's where I went. If you can imagine, I am one of 30 black students on a campus of 9,000. My first semester, I went to school on a loan, and my grade point average dropped below the requirement to maintain my loan. So of course I called my parents and I let them know they would have to pay. There was no money to pay. And so my mom said, stay right there and let them put you out. And so I continued to go to school. And eventually she contacted the university, and the dean of the School of Nursing was able to secure a scholarship for a, quote, deserving Negro student, unquote. The benefactor had been taken care of by a licensed practical nurse so well that she wanted to help her become a registered nurse. That lady, because of her family obligations, was not able to take advantage of the scholarship, and so she gave it to the university for a deserving Negro student right at the time that I was needing financial assistance. Well, I can tell you, I was so grateful. I was determined that I was going to succeed. I had graduated from high school. I was going to graduate from college as a registered nurse. And I can tell you that I studied harder than I can recall ever studying. And I graduated with honors from the University of Arkansas School of Nursing in 1967. I enjoyed studying and learning so much that I went to Columbia University in New York, got a master's degree in maternity nursing and a certificate in midwifery, and enjoyed that so much that I decided, along with my husband by this time, to become a medical doctor. In my first semester, I made a failing grade on one of my exams. Now, to be honest with you, that was the first failing grade I had ever received. Even back at age 16 in 1963, it was a low grade, but not a failing grade. This was a failing grade. Rather than let it shake my confidence, because I had graduated and had succeeded in other things, I went straight to the instructor because I wanted that to be my last failing grade. It was my first, I wanted it to be my last. So what is it that I need to do so that this does not happen again? And some people said to me, well, perhaps they're prejudiced or they are racist. And my concern was, but they're the instructor. They have the information that I need to succeed. I came in the front door, I'm going out the front door with a diploma. So I made sure that I focused on what I needed in order to succeed. And I can tell you that I graduated high in the class from the University of Mississippi Medical Center and became a medical doctor, went to University of Tennessee, specialized in obstetrics and gynecology, and later came back here to practice. It's not what's outside that determines who you are. It is you who determines who you are. It is your attitude that determines your altitude, and you can be what it is that you want to be. It is your choices that make the determination of what your consequences and your results are. So if you make good choices, you will have good consequences. If you make bad choices, you will have bad consequences. And if you determine what your goal is and make those efforts to achieve that goal, then you will succeed. You may need help from others. Like I benefited from that licensed practical nurse giving good care to that lady who subsequently gave the scholarship to the University of Arkansas for a deserving Negro student. I needed her help, but I took the opportunity to go forward and do what was necessary for me to succeed. When I had an opportunity to meet the benefactor, I asked, what could I do for her? And her response was, pass it on. And so, you know, that's what I'm doing today. I'm passing on to you the principles, the attitude that I needed and required to succeed, because I believe you can do it too. You define what it is that you want to be and what you want to do. And you establish the principles. There are certain things you will do, there are certain things you won't do. And when I mentioned good choices, good consequences, bad choices, bad consequences, the same thing happens. I've seen choices in sexuality sabotaging your future. If you get involved with sexual activity prematurely, it distracts you. And so you may have to drop out of school before you get an opportunity to finish high school and go on to nursing school or go on to college, because you've now got a child to be concerned about. And the same thing about a young man who fathers a child. He now has to worry about supporting that child. Whereas if you would delay sexual activity until you're old enough to be independent and care for yourself, you won't miss anything except maybe unplanned out-of-wedlock pregnancy or STDs, but you won't miss the opportunity to be independent, law-abiding, and caring for yourself. Those are goals and aspirations you should be setting. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your goals ahead of you and avoid those things that could sabotage your future.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can.